Bryan Kohberger's innocent, and I'm going to prove it. So let's get started. First of all, let's be respectful. Might be some varying opinions, and if there are, and you want to reply, you don't need to call anybody an idiot. But I need everybody to understand the government is more powerful than the people that it governs. That is why we are presumed innocent. And if we don't continue with that mindset, our judicial system's a failure. I also understand that this name and those poor souls have garnered a lot of people a lot of money. So they've gone out of their way to clickbaity titles and wild accusations. We don't know what evidence they do and don't have. In fact, if you believe everything you see on YouTube, I got a call from an anonymous source. They botched the whole investigation. That's what my source told me. It's anonymous. Sorry. You believe in that? Because, if you're believing that, then you're probably believing they have 4 or 5 driver's licenses and he's linked to some other crime in Pennsylvania and they found hair and DNA in his apartment complex. And oh no, the police, they collected a sleeve from a hotel key card. So what? If we're going to continue to work like this and think like this as a society, we're failing everything. You cannot get on TV, on here, hooping and hollering about how guilty somebody is because of what you read on 4chan. This whole case is getting out of control. Like I've said before, we want and hope that this is the right person. But that is a hope. Hope is a feeling. And a lot of people forget feelings are not facts. It is foolish to think that the police are always right, but we hope they are because we entrust them with our protection. But nobody has a clue what evidence they have. And if everybody is on here convinced of his guilt, where is his right to a fair trial? What are we going to do then? If they pick people out of this jury pool and it is found out that one of them lied and had a preconceived notion and states this to other members of the jury or somebody in the community, mistrial. Is that what we want? Let's think about what we have been told by the authorities up to this point. We know that they were looking for a white Hyundai Elantra, but the years they put out were different than the one that Bryan Kohberger drives. And the make and model and year of that vehicle was laid out by a person from the FBI. They sent him the footage that they had, and he said, well, it's this year and whatever it was, I think up to 2014, 13 to 14. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Kohberger have a 2015? So there, we got that going on. There was the individual whose apartment got swatted the day that the traffic cam from the patrolman came up. Everybody looked at it. Pretty sure he had a Hyundai Elantra too. Then let's get into this K-bar. Holy cannoli. The mythical K-bar. Everybody's on here talking about, well, they've got evidence where Bryan Kohberger purchased it online. What evidence? Slapping something up in Photoshop does not count as evidence. And nobody has a source with the police department. They're playing everybody for views and for money. And in the process, setting this trial up for failure. And we got the sheath that they didn't originally find, apparently. With partial DNA that they couldn't pick up on their end, so they sent it to a secondary lab, and they find a minute trace that they are saying links Bryan Kohberger to the crime. Does DNA grow or change? Or are they saying the state police in Idaho don't understand how to run a DNA test? Or the FBI? I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying I don't know. And I'm also saying everything I've heard, I question. And I think everybody else should question. And when those questions get raised, they form discussions. And through discussions, we come to understanding. But there's not a whole lot of discussing going on. It's a whole lot of he did it. I have this proof. Big flashy title. Look at my thumbnail. I know he did it. Anonymous source has leaked me this information. Your cousin's aunt's brother's neighbor who lives 2 states over does not count as an anonymous source. Well, actually it does. And that's probably where a lot of this is coming from. But let's continue. So the guy is getting a PhD in criminal justice. He leaves a sheep there? I mean, I gotta think, or I would hope, at institutes of higher education who are teaching people about the criminal justice system, I'm sure they discussed at some point in time, hey, these people are getting caught because they're leaving evidence laying around. And a guy who is working on a doctorate forgets that? Once again, how does the smartest person in the room do something so stupid? How does the smartest person in the room not check for cameras? How does the smartest person in the room allegedly leave a cell phone on that pings all over the place? But also, apparently, one of those pings doesn't count. How many cell towers are between Washington State, and Idaho. Excuse me, University of Idaho. I've lived a little bit in the Midwest. I don't recall too many bustling cities filled with cell phone towers. In fact, my time out there, it was city, nothing for 45 minutes to 2 hours. Small town, nothing for 45 minutes to 2 hours. Small town, nothing for 45 minutes to 2 hours. Big city. So I think it's safe to say that there might be 1 or 2 cell phone towers in that area, maybe, if we're lucky. Now the witness statement. I'm not going to dog either one of them 2 young women. It's not happening. I'm not talking about why they didn't call the police as soon as they heard what they heard. And allegedly, the door camera or a security camera on a house near there picked up screams and moans. But hey, 2 young women, probably very drunk, possibly even high, who knows? It's not my place. But that's the star witness they went off of. A guy with athletic build and bushy eyebrows. So, we've all seen Bryan Kohberger. He's got the athletic build of a chess player, if we're lucky. So it is completely possible that they got it wrong. You know, when we move forward, they're saying, well, we caught Bryan Kohberger wearing gloves, dumping his trash into other trash cans. So, have you seen the size of the trash cans that they give you if you live in city limits? It's like a 2-bag limit on that thing. Anything above it, you got to take it somewhere yourself or find a bin nearby or put it in your neighbor's garbage if they give you permission, of course. As far as wearing gloves, look, people are still wearing masks. People wear masks all the time now. And that used to be something you never saw. Who's to say he's just not comfortable touching things with his bare hands? I mean, the pandemic did a lot to a lot of people, both financially and mentally. So we can't disregard it just because somebody gets on TV and says, hey, pandemic's over, cool, take your gloves and mask off. There's lingering effects to stuff like that. So when they announced his name, I was hoping there would be some sort of more substantial evidence available. In fact, I remember telling people when this case was going on and everybody's fussing about the lack of information coming out and the police chief getting up there saying it's an ongoing investigation, we don't want to compromise it. I said, really, it's, let's say, 1 of 3 options. Either option A, they don't have a clue who did it. Option B, they know for sure who did it and don't know where they are. Or option C, they have an idea, they don't have very much evidence. I mean, we saw the wall outside the home. And you would assume that an individual coming out of a situation like that and going to his car would leave a mess from the door to the vehicle. It should be identifiable. But we saw him searching all over the place. You would think somebody like that would have cuts and bruises, marks from people defending themselves. There were no reports from any of his students stating, yeah, he had scratches on his face or scratches on his hands or up and down his arms. Okay, now you're saying, all right, well, it maybe he wore long sleeves, sure. What about all this? Statements from the family said at least one of the girls fought hard till the end. So she didn't grab hair, scratch a nose, dig at an eye, pull at an ear, punch, nothing. But everybody on here is dead set that he did it. And I'm dead set on waiting for the trial. Because if we get up here on the internet proclaiming somebody's guilt as if we got some sort of authority, we're wrong. We're contaminating things. We're making it harder for the prosecution. So let me know what you think. Am I way off base? Or do you think this is just some sort of holier than thou rant and I'm full of crap and don't know what I'm talking about? Or do you believe so hard in your heart you know he is guilty based off anonymous sources? Then you got to let me know, and I want to know where you're coming from. But I do ask if you comment and feel the need to comment. That's fine. Somebody says something different than you or something you disagree with, you can be civil about it and we can have a discussion. But if you just want to call me an idiot, you can call me an idiot all day. I don't care. I mean, let me know either way. I appreciate your time and I appreciate you sticking around. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you in the next one.